Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to explain a 2017 Russian science fiction and action movie called Attraction. The movie begins with Yulia, daughter of one of the leaders in the Russian military, who shares a story about her deceased mother and her loneliness, despite living with her father. During the classroom, the teacher is explaining about an astronomical phenomenon happening on Earth, and a nerd named Google seems to have a crush on Julia since he always tries to help her to answer the teacher's questions. After school, Julia asks her father, Colonel Valentin Lebedev, permission to see a meteor shower that evening, but he forbids the request, claiming it's for her safety. Annoyed with her dad's decision, she calls her badass boyfriend Tyoma, who suggests she disobeys her father since it is a once-in-a-50-years phenomenon. Tyoma eventually picks Yulia up to the roof of a building where everyone is waiting for the meteor shower while Yulia meets her girlfriend Svetlana. The couple decide to have fun in Svetlana's apartment room, leaving her alone on the rooftop. Meanwhile, an alien spaceship is seen traveling through the solar system. Suddenly, it gets hit by one of the meteors, causing it to malfunction and enter Earth's atmosphere at a very high speed. The Russian military detects the falling alien spaceship, and they launch missiles at it since it does not slow down, causing it to lose speed. The spaceship begins to fall toward the city and damages several buildings, including Svetlana's apartment. This collision immediately kills Svetlana while shocks the couple, who almost fall from the building. After crashing a lot of buildings and killing hundreds of people, it finally stops moving. The Russian military immediately approaches the crashing ship in the impact zone and attempts to make contact with them while evacuating the city since the spaceship could be a nuclear bomb. Colonel Lebedev and Mikhail Polskin, a State Duma deputy, walk toward the ship to make contact with an ancient creature, presumably alien, for the first time. Several shooters are also placed to anticipate a surprise attack. Mikhail attempts to give a warm welcome to the alien, and it seems to understand them and try to communicate with them, but in an unidentified language. A few moments later, Lebedev reports to the higher-ups, saying that he has an agreement with the aliens to keep a distance from them while they are repairing the broken spaceship. Some higher-ups suggest they carry out an assault to destroy it entirely, but the colonel refuses to provoke aggression with the aliens and chooses to observe. Meanwhile, Yulia finally awakens and learns that her girlfriend has passed away. She also sees the news on the TV, revealing that his father is responsible for the operation and protective structures that have been built around the 1-kilometer radius surrounding the spaceship. She then leaves the hospital and mourns for her friend's death. Colonel Lebedev then takes his daughter home where she has to live with her grandma temporarily. Despite the crash, the students still attend school where the teacher expresses his excitement to encounter an extraterrestrial civilization. The students are angry towards the aliens since they believe the aliens are the cause of the death of their friends or family members, and the military still doesn't take any action. Yulia then secretly takes her father's gun and goes to Tyoma's gang hideout where Tyoma and his friends plan to spread negative comments about the aliens in the social media. She urges them to go to the quarantine zone to avenge her girlfriend's death. They sneak in through an old processing plant and eventually arrive at the zone. Tyoma suggests Yulia waits in the car while the others explore the nearby buildings where they discover an alien thing, presumably fell through the ceiling. Meanwhile, Yulia disobeys her boyfriend and silently ascends to Svetlana's apartment room where an alien creature suddenly shows up and shocks Yulia. The alien saves her from falling down and tries to communicate with her while Tyoma and his friends arrive and hit the mysterious creature. It slips and loses his grip, causing it to free fall. They immediately approach the creature and Tyoma finds blood, which has the same characteristics as humans. Turns out that it is an exoskeleton armor, and Yulia spots a dying alien creature which has the exact same physical form as humans, but she ignores him. They then manage to take the armor and mysterious thing away unnoticed. Later that night, Yulia can't sleep and decides to go back to the building in the quarantine zone. Upon arrival, she rescues the alien and hides its body inside the car. The next day, she asks Google, who plans to study medicine after graduation, to help her. She tells Google that she owes the alien and wants to save him. Google concludes his anatomy is similar to humans, thus they bring him to a hospital since he has lost a lot of blood. They do a blood test on him and figure out that he has the same blood group with Yulia. She decides to transfuse her blood to him and it works. He wakes up and suddenly grabs her hand, transferring his mental bracelet to her. While taking a bath, she realizes that the metal bracelet attracts water and allows her to control water. Meanwhile, the military army retrieves the shield look-alike alien thing and investigates it. The colonel is also aware that the thing can control water. On the other side, a fisherman is shocked when he finds out the water nearby the alien vessel has magically disappeared. The scientist concludes that the ship draws water and uses it to fix the ship since 30% of the external damage of the ship has been repaired. Meanwhile, the alien wakes up and somehow manages to speak Russian. He introduces himself as Hakon and reveals that he is looking for a device called Shilk. He dresses up and leaves on his own. The patrolling officers spot him and send him off to a police station to be interrogated. Tayoma and his friends examine the exoskeleton and discover that they can utilize it since it is the right size for humans. One of his friends accidentally activates the armor, which makes the gang panic. Tayoma calls Colonel Lebedev and decides to hand over the exoskeleton to the military, but he is not available at the moment. They stumble upon a crowd who are furious because the military rationed the water supply. One of them attempts to provoke the crowd, and the fight between the officers and the crowd ensues. Tayoma, who has good intentions to try to break up the fight, gets hit in the back by one of the officers and gets arrested. Not long after, Lebedev arrives, but Tayoma cancels his plan to give the exoskeleton to the military. While being questioned, the police officer is confused when she cannot find any fingerprints on Hakon's finger. A few moments later, Yulia arrives at the police station to free Hakon. Unfortunately, Tayoma is also in the same room when he finds Yulia, and he is very disappointed with her action. She decides to bring the alien to the perimeter to meet her father. While on their way, Hakon explains that he needs Shilk to be able to return to his planet. Upon arrival, Yulia has to lie that she is pregnant so that her father wants to meet her. She introduces Hakon to the colonel while silently takes her father's access card and gives it to the alien, who is sent out by the enraged father. Hakon disguises as a scientist and sneaks into the laboratory where he retrieves the Shilk from the unidentified thing. It takes some time before the scientists realize that he is not Colonel Lebedev. They immediately trigger the emergency alarm. Afterwards, Hakon somehow reunites with Yulia and Lebedev, who orders his men to drive them home. Tayoma is finally released, and with his friends, they start preparing for the revolt. They modify their car, make Molotovs, and supply baseball bats. After that, he calls Yulia and apologizes, begging her to join the movement, but she refuses as she chooses the alien over him. Hakon needs to bring the Shilk into the ship immediately, but they have to wait until midnight since there's no way they can pass the guards there. She brings him home and introduces her sick dog to the alien. Hakon understands that the dog is suffering, thus he brings the Shilk closer to the dog, which magically cures his sickness, and the dog has now become healthy again. While eating, Yulia learns from the TV that Hakon has now become a military fugitive. Discovering her dad with his military convoy arrives at home, they run away where Hakon warns her not to smoke since it is harmful for her health. Meanwhile, the hate video towards the alien and military has now gone viral and affects a lot of people. The video suggests that humans must protect their Earth from the superior beings. Turns out that it's Tayoma and his friends who create and post the video to spread hate. Yulia and Hakon visit Google and borrow his clothes. Afterwards, the pair go to a concert where Colonel Lebedev can't look for them. While dancing, Hakon tells Yulia to hold his hand and shows her what his planet looks like. He says that humans are prohibited to get closer to their ship or Saul will destroy the ship since they are afraid that humans will steal their advanced technology. Unfortunately, one of Tayoma's friends spots them and directly informs them, which makes Tayoma enraged. After the party, Yulia escorts the alien back to his ship through the abandoned building where they finally kiss and Yulia confesses her true feelings to the alien. Suddenly, the broken-hearted Tayoma and his friends appear and start beating up the alien ruthlessly. Hakon decides to fight back when Tayoma slaps Yulia. He shows his superiority and knocks everyone down easily. One of the men attempts to shoot Hakon, but the bullet hits Ruslan instead. Tayoma and his friend manage to flee when the guards arrive. Tayoma, who is devastated because his best friend was killed, orders his friend to spread the fake news, telling that the alien has killed the man, and invites everyone on the internet to riot and attack the spaceship. After everyone is gathered, Tayoma gives a provocative speech to them, telling them that the military has been protecting the aliens, not them, and they have to reclaim their Earth. The military holds the fire and chooses to defend the line, but Tyoma's group begins to rampage and manages to break through the barricade. Meanwhile, Tyoma tries to utilize the alien's exoskeleton. Feeling threatened, the spaceship summons several aliens with the modern suit to defend their ship. At the military base, Yulia reveals to her father that Hakon is not human and eventually disobeys her father, threatening to kill herself, since she believes that the right thing to do right now is to return the alien to his ship instead of calling a full military assault. She immediately drives Hakon back to his spaceship where Tyoma with his new suit intervenes. He crashes the car, causing Yulia to faint. Hakon has no other option than to fight him. Tyoma outpowers the alien and attempts to kill him when Yulia wakes up and hits the exoskeleton with the car. Meanwhile, Colonel Lebedev and his soldiers lower their weapons, showing to the aliens that they are harmless. The exoskeleton loses its arm and Tyoma is ejected from the suit. He grabs the rifle and ruthlessly shoots the couple. Lebedev sees his daughter get shot and immediately orders his men to arrest Tyoma. The aliens cooperate with the humans and bring the dying Hakon, Yulia, and Colonel Lebedev into the ship. They then put them into a healing capsule while Lebedev talks to the ship's AI, Saul. Saul, who speaks Russian, explains to the colonel that they are prohibited to visit Earth since it's considered as a place with an extremely aggressive social environment. Hakon believes there is hope to make contact with Earth and travels to Earth to observe. Thanks to Yulia's sincere love for Hakon, Saul states that she might bring a positive impact to the result of the observation. Not long after, Yulia is resurrected and the spaceship departs from Earth while releasing excess water. At the end of the movie, Yulia states that one stranger in the far distant cosmos believed in humankind capabilities more than humans themselves. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.